Hey guys, so it's a beautiful day today, so I figured let's have a talk with a view. Yeah, so what I want to talk about a little bit, which actually kind of works because of where I'm standing, is what our decision making is going to be with rent and if we want to move. And so you guys have heard in the past that I did some math, right? So where we live, we get free internet, free TV, which we didn't buy TV anyway, but you know, if you're calculating this certain amount of money, what that means per month, free, what's it called, the free gym, because the gym is really good. Like, the gym is comparable to almost, missing a few pieces of equipment, but almost comparable to an LA Fitness. And because where we live, we could walk to places. I walk to places, so we need only one car, not two. So if we remove cable from the equation and just do internet, gym memberships, and car insurance, because obviously even if it's a beater, you should buy a second car, or any car, cash. But the point is, we'd buy a second car cash if we live somewhere that we'd need more than one car that's not walkable. We're looking at $300 to $400 a month, probably closer to $400 a month, that we're saving by living here. Now, obviously living here is a premium because it's a condo on the water with a pool, clubhouse, all these things, and amenities. So we need to save about $400 a month plus. So really $500 a month to make this move make sense, because there's fees when you move. As I did some research, I'm really not finding things that fit our needs at $500 less a month plus. That would make it worth moving. And then I'll be honest, like, I found one. Again, doesn't fit our needs all the way, but like saying, okay, because the whole point is, when you're getting out of debt, you need to be looking for money everywhere, looking under every rock, making the life changes you need to make, and not making excuses about them. So this is why I'm talking about it. But when I calculated, let's say we would save $700 a month. This is because now I'm a realtor, so I have a commission that can go into the savings. Let's say I get $100 less a month because I receive commission, right, on top of whatever I negotiated. Now, when I calculated $700 a month, in order to, like, for the end of this year, which we want to get out of debt this year, we're talking about $3,500 we'd save this year at $700 a month. Now, the problem is $3,500 is literally just a drop in the bucket for the $100 grand that we need to pay off this year, as you've heard. Which then makes me go, well, is it really worth the sacrifice of a move, the cost, the pain in the butt it is to move? And it makes me go, no. Like, I'm just gonna stay here and find an extra $3,500 somewhere, because we need $100 grand. I mean, the goal is so big, you know. But my husband had a really good point, which he said, it's not about how little it is, the thing, right, that we'd be saving. It's about the mindset that you are slimming down everywhere, that you got your eyes set on the prize, that like that's it, you know what I'm saying? So you make every sacrifice, you do every single thing to hit this thing, this goal, and then that makes sense. So there's a couple of units actually in the neighboring building here that are reduced, which would be crazy because they have all the same amenities. So if I could catch that building at like $500-600 less, then I'm really winning. We're talking about like $1,000 less, based on the fact that I don't have to pay internet, gym, and extra car insurance. So that's something we're looking into. There's a couple units, and they're not renting. Like, prices are going down. But I don't have a lot of comparables to get where I live now down. However, there's a couple things going on, like construction they're gonna do, so I'm gonna find out what that's gonna look like, what an inconvenience that is for negotiation. And honestly, if I've learned anything in the past, it's literally just asking. So either we're gonna move, which honestly I really hope we don't, because I have moved pretty much every year or every year and a half for like the last, like, since I can remember, or even multiple times in a year depending on what was going on in life. Like the last 10 years I've moved so much. Yeah, for reals. I just thought about it. I have moved. I'll count right now how many times I have moved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then at the 5th, I was nomadic, living in several different places. So I don't know if I should count each one. I mean, I officially rented a room, but that was just like 6 weeks. So 6. And then 7. This is my nomadic period. And then 8. And then, okay, and then I got apartment 9. And then I moved to a bigger apartment 10. And then I moved to this apartment 11. So in the last decade, and I mean, mind you, the one thing I didn't count was staying at my mom for 2-3 weeks in between something. I didn't count that. But I officially stayed in places for 6+ weeks without knowing where I would go next. Few months. So I'm counting that. That's about 3 of the 11. So, hey, if you want to remove those, I have moved 8 times in the last 10 years. So honestly, like, I don't want to move again. I'm tired. Now I got 2 kids. It's totally different. I want to have a little bit of roots. Like, my desire is to live here until we buy something. However, at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to lay up your wishes and desires, even if it's for the matter of exploration, even if it's for the matter of being open enough that you allow God to speak what he wants. And we may very well end up staying in this apartment, and maybe at a discount. Why? Because we started looking and we started comparing and we started saying, what are our options? And then, if I've learned anything, which I was going to go into that earlier, is there's nothing wrong with asking. There's nothing wrong with asking. Like, people always think, okay, here's 2 things I'm going to say. 1, people in negotiating sometimes feel bad. Like, oh, I don't want to insult the other person. It's like, what? And also, people tend to have an idea that landlords here, tenants here. But yo, you know how expensive a crappy tenant is? A bad tenant who destroys a house? So if you are an excellent tenant, that's like gold. They don't want to lose you. And do this math. If you leave an apartment or a house, how long is it empty before it gets rented? Things are slow. If they're empty 2 months, then whatever discount they may have given you, they lost that and more. So any smart person goes, you know what, if it means to keep these people who have been excellent tenants, haven't given me a problem, and maintain my house property, then whatever, I'll take a small hit to keep them. So this exploring, the worst that could happen is we stay here, probably at a discount. And the second thing is, this is the whole negotiating. There's been books and studies that reveal when people negotiate, and this is just your tidbit for negotiating, which is one of my favorite things to do, by the way. When people negotiate, the person, so let's say you settled at 5 G's, whatever the negotiation is. The person who was willing to receive the 5 G's as payment still was willing to go lower. They've asked after the fact. And then the person who paid the 5 G's still was willing to pay more. So that means that there's always some more room on the table. So ask, keep asking, keep fighting. There is room on the table, because both parties 99% of the time feel like the one who was receiving payment would have taken less and the one who was given would have paid more. So be bold in asking. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. And I mean, here's another note just with the mindset. Today I'm gonna drive, I don't know, about 15 minutes to go sell my KitchenAid, because I don't use it enough, for $125. I think I probably put in about 50 minutes of time between marketing it on OfferUp, messages back and forth, taking pictures of it. Now I'm gonna have to wash it because it's like dusty, and I checked it, it works. But the point is, a 50-minute investment with driving is gonna get me $125. Is $125 big in the like a big game changer in the scheme of $100,000 to get out of debt? Not at all. That's like literally a drop in the bucket. However, it's the mindset. It's the mindset about every dollar, which is the name of the Dave Ramsey app. It's the mindset about making every dollar do something for you. It's the mindset of looking under every rock. It's the mindset of looking for every opportunity. It's the mindset of going after it, which falls in line with what I was saying about the whole renting thing. My sheer frustration of moving so much in the last decade will make me go, I ain't trying to do ish. I ain't gonna look at another apartment. I'm not trying to do anything, man. I'm tired, bro. But no, whatever it is, it's worth exploring. Why? Because it's about the mindset of where you're at and where you're trying to go, and that nothing's gonna get in your way. So anyway, yeah, that's the breakdown. That's what we're thinking about when I look at a couple of units and do the math. It's all about the numbers. And like I said, the worst case scenario, staying here, and more than likely at a discount. Why? Because we just started looking. We just started saying, you know, what can we do? What can we do differently in the arena of our housing? Alrighty.